Let's all go to the movies. Hopefully they don't sue me. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to movie reviews. I feel like it's crooked, but maybe it's not. This week we're gonna talk about Baby Boy. Excuse me. It's a movie that, you know, as a 34-year-old, I look back at this movie. I looked back at it with fondness. And then when I found out very recently that it's the same person, John Singleton, produced it, wrote it, directed it, it's the same guy that did the same for Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood, 5-star. I was like, yo, we gotta watch Baby Boy. So I showed my son Baby Boy. Now, Baby Boy, now that I've rewatched it, I've realized some things. I realized that it's very hard to watch because the main character, Jody, or Baby Boy, is he's not a good guy. You know, he cheats on his girl. He hit her. He's complaining about his mom's boyfriend, and he's pretty good to her, and his homeboy's annoying, and he's even worse than him, like yelling at his mother-in-law and his girlfriend. And so there's just these two. The main character, the protagonist, is more of an antagonist, so it's difficult to watch now. When you watch something like The Boys, it's just so fucked up, and there's so many fucked up people. You still have Huey, who's the protagonist and who has a heart the whole time. But Jody doesn't have that in this movie. Also, I grew up with my parents arguing a lot. So it can be triggering, because this movie is a lot of relationship arguing. They talk about sex differently. Boys in the Hood just beats it at in that aspect, because I mean, they go into sex, but they don't. It's not. But I understand what it's trying to represent. It's trying to represent. There are people out there like that. They're living like this, of all races, and there's just it's a negative thing that's true. Hopefully that's slowing down, but you know, it is what it is. So it makes it hard to watch. Like it took a few times. We stopped. Luckily, we could stop it, watch it, keep watching later. It took a few days for us to finish watching it. And then another issue I had with it when I rewatched it was the ending. Because Snoop Dogg's character rolls with these dudes that are like really will ride for him, apparently, like it's what they kind of insinuate. But then Snoop Dogg gets killed. So Tyrese shoots him in the leg. Spoiler: Jody shoots him in the leg, but Omar Gooding kills him. I forgot his character name. Kills him flat out. They dip. There's no repercussions for this. The boys don't come back to get him or shoot at him. They don't have any drama or nothing. So there's no repercussion. And then homeboy Omar Gooding gets baptized, and it's just hunky dory. Tyrese gets old girl pregnant again. It's really weird, like the scene where he eats her out, and as she's coming, she starts seeing like visions of him in prison and her pregnant alone, and it's like, whoa. I mean, that was a cool scene. It's not, this is like it's not for a young teenager, so I kind of feel bad showing my son, but it was all right. I think it had to be seen. I guess it's good that you saw it. So you know, people, it's one of those movies that it's like popular culture, especially hip hop culture. So let me get into the. So if I'm gonna rate it, I'm gonna rate it right now, man. It's like a 2. You know, it's got some good shit, but it's hard to watch. So it stars Tyrese Gibson, Snoop Dogg, Ving Rhames, Omar Gooding, AJ Johnson, Taraji P. Henson, which I'm gonna do my badass woman in history because she was also in another movie me and my son just watched called Kareem and Coffee. Coffee and Kareem. I mean, she's been in the game for a minute. It was released June 27, 2001, so the anniversary of it was just recently. It's 130 minutes, so it's not that long. It's a couple hours. It is long. It feels fucking super long. The budget was 16 million. You know, low budget film. They don't really do those anymore, and it made 29 million. So I guess it was a success. And Wikipedia describes it as an American coming-of-age hood comedy drama film directed, written, and produced by John Singleton. The main character, Jody, is a 20-year-old bike mechanic as he lives and learns in his everyday life in the hood of LA. Oh, this is interesting. The film was originally written with rapper Tupac Shakur in mind to play Jody. Shakur had previously worked with Singleton on Poetic Justice. However, following Shakur's murder in '96, Singleton decided to replace Shakur with R&B artist Tyrese Gibson. Additionally, the role of Rodney was originally written for Ice Cube, who had worked with Singleton on Boys in the Hood and Higher Learning. Yeah, I need to check those movies out, 'cause I never watched Poetic Justice, unfortunately, and I haven't seen Higher Learning. The film marked the feature acting debut of Gibson and provided Henson with her first prominent role. Released in the U.S., as I said, in '01, received predominantly positive reviews from critics and audiences, with many deeming it as his best film since Boys in the Hood, but it underperformed commercially, grossed 29 mil against a 16. I guess, yeah. I mean, that's almost double, but whatever. The film is also the final feature film written by Singleton, as he did not write any of his later feature-length directional projects before his death. Oh, I didn't know he died. Rest in peace. In April of 2019. Whoa. So it goes into the plot. I'm not going to read that. It's listed as Big Trade D as Knucklehead 1, Goldilocks as Knucklehead 2. So there's Knuckleheads, so they never planned on them having Omar Gooding is Sweet Pea or P. Taraji P. Henson is Yvette. That's a cool name. It's my sister's name. Snoop Dogg was Rodney. Ving Rhames was Melvin. He was a good character. I liked him. He was trying. Singleton makes an uncredited cameo as a bootlegger who attempts to sell pirated DVDs to Jody and Sweet Pea, while his mother Sheila Ward plays a mourner in the dream sequence where Jody sees himself at his funeral. I don't remember. Additionally, I remember the dream sequence. Additionally, his daughter Cleopatra Singleton appears in the beginning of the film as Lil Nut, Jody's daughter with Peanut. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, he has 2 kids. He has another girl too. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm judging nobody, but it's realistic. Box office, movie, film gross, opening weekend, 8 million. Critical response, 71 on Rotten Tomatoes, about 55 out of 100 on Metacritic. Preachy and repetitive in part, Baby Boy still manages to exude authenticity thanks to a competent cast. Preachy and repetitive. I don't know. Alright, let's see what Robert Ebert has to say. 3.5 stars out of 4. and I give it 2 out of 5. Baby Boy is a bold criticism of young black men who carelessly father babies, live off their mothers, and don't even think of looking for work. It is also a criticism of the society that pushes them into that niche. There has never been a movie with this angle on the African-American experience, and it doesn't fall back on easy liberal finger-pointing. There are no white people in this movie, no simplistic blaming of others. The adults in Jody's life blame him for his own troubles, and they should. It's true. Some of that, I don't agree with everything he said. Yeah, man. John Singleton said he was very proud of the movie. He said it was just soulful. It was a lot of drama and shit. I feel like Boys in the Hood was more soulful, in my opinion. But it's memorable. He said it's memorable. It definitely is memorable. Yeah. All right. Be right back with Old Badass Woman, her story.